guys, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to layout number 6 but video number 7 of our latest collection or series here on YouTube. What I'm doing is I had pulled together a wedding collection. It's called Happily Ever After from Simple Stories, and I have the 12 by 12 paper pack, a 6 by 8 pack, some stickers, some die cuts and ephemera, and I also had some puffy stickers. And so I'm trying to use these up because it's beautiful collection, but I don't have a lot of wedding photos to do, so I am challenging myself to use it as is and see what other themes I can use it for. And I hope that this will inspire you to pull out those really heavily themed collections and kind of think outside the box. So these photos, it is going to be a double page layout, and I can't remember where my inspiration is. I think it is based off of a sketch. I think it's a 6 by 6 sketch, but I like the 6 by 6 sketch collections from Scrapbook Generation because it gives me some ideas on what to do with scraps because it is working with smaller papers. So here I had cut out the specific design called for some 1 by 3-inch papers, and so I cut out some of those papers from the 6 by 8 paper pads and cut them out in that specific size, and then I'm gonna layer them kind of tile size on the top of my photos. But there is also some some papers that are on the bottom, and so I cut those out from the 12 by 12 papers. I cut out some strips of stripe paper and also just some beige, more neutral paper. Now these photos are a combination of 4 by 6 and 3 by 4. My 4 by 6 will be my main photo, and that's just a landscape photo of the sun setting. So these photos were taken during COVID, during the height of when we were quarantined and we were asked to stay home. And one of the things that I noticed for me during that time was I needed something to look forward to. And so one day I had asked my husband if we can go on a date, and it has to be outdoors, of course, because no indoor place was open. And then I thought about maybe going to this one specific overlook in a park in our city, and then just eating some ice cream and watching the sunset. Now, I think we went on in April, and if you've ever lived in Colorado or the Rockies, you know that even if it's spring, it's still pretty cold. So, my ice cream plan, we did it. We went to the store, we got our ice cream, and then we went to this place, but it was still pretty cold. So we had our jackets on and we were eating ice cream, which was kind of funny because of the weather, but it was still memorable. So here's the tile that I'm talking about. I did adhere most of them already. Now the first one I didn't ink the edges of it, but then as I was going through, I decided to ink the edges to make sure that each of the block was emphasized so that bottom left side do not have any inking because it was already stuck to the paper, but that's okay. I am just going to go forward, and it's going to be covered up with some other items anyways, so I'm totally fine with that. And as you can see, I overlapped some of them so that it will look like a tile, and I thought that that was really good design. And then in the sketch, I am also going, they also had some photos, more vertical photos on the left side, and so I'm going to do that, but instead I'm going to play around with some tags because there's this paper on part of the collection, the 12 by 12 collection, that has some tags, and so I thought that I would just cut them up just so I can use them and just see what I can do. And so one side has the words and the design, and the other one has just a plain white on the bottom with a little bit of design and pattern on the top. I think it's mostly for journaling, but I'm just going to tuck those in, and I could have just cut that part of the tag so I can use the clear, or no, so the white part, so I can use it for journaling. But at this point in my scrapbooking, I have a lot of products already, so later on in, if I needed to use some journaling, I could just pick another paper. Now at this point, I decided that instead of tucking it in, I'm actually going to mat the photos with the tag instead. And I like that better because it showed the tags more, and then it had some framing for my photos, which helped to make that stand out against the background. So if you're new to my channel, or you're new to the series, I have the whole collection of the Happily Ever After from Simple Stories. It is a wedding themed collection, but I am challenging myself to use it up for layouts other than wedding. I feel like there's a lot of beautiful collections out there that are themed heavy, and so maybe this will inspire you to pull that out. If it's maybe a Christmas one or Thanksgiving, see what other layouts that you can create from that particular collection. And I have done, this is my 6th layout, so I've done 5 already. If you have not seen any of them, you can always go to my channel. It is on a playlist. I believe I had put it as Use It Up collection. And so just please check that out there. And I apologize if I am sounding a little hoarse. I do have a cold, but I am trying to do some voiceovers, and so bear with me if I don't sound very good. So as with any tags, I feel like you need to have that hole in the center to finish that off. And so that's just what I did. And I'm also inking up the edges of this just to make sure that it stands out. And then because I had created that hole, I will look for some twine to go along with the tops of the tags. And so this is kind of a date type of layout. And so I thought that all of the love connections from the collection will work well with this. And then I did cut out some titles with my Silhouette Cameo using some free SVG files from Paper Issues. And I really like the script and the arrows. It blends really well for both the 12 by 12 layouts and also the 12 by 24. I just like that long horizontal path that it creates, and it just makes for a large enough title for both double page and single page. And so I decided to put the title a little bit over my photos. My photos do have some kind of open space, negative space there because of the sky. And I like to nestle my titles to the elements that I already have on my layout, just so that it will all connect to one another. Because if they're all separated, it's kind of hard for the eye to flow on the layout. And so that's why I connect that there. And of course, I am using some acid-free adhesive, so I'm not worried about the issues of putting that on my photos. And I'm sorry that my head is in the way. I wanted to make sure that that's all lined up because it is rectangle, it's not circular, and so I didn't want it to be all kind of floppy or unaligned, or is that unaligned? Not aligned, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that I was looking right over it. And so the twine that I chose to finish off my tags is the yellow. There are some hints of yellow in the collection. It's not very prominent, so I decided to use the yellow just to make it stand out a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm not introducing any other new colors to the layout. So far, I'm really having a lot of fun with this collection. I have done some Easter layouts, which it's not very, like, you wouldn't think that that will work with a wedding collection, but specifically for the colors of the photos that I have, it worked well. It had that kind of dainty look which I was going for with my Easter. I've also done a homecoming which worked really well for like the wedding dress or the tux. I think that would work really well for a wedding collection. I've also done just a outdoor trip, and I like the muted colors. It worked really well with my photos. So I've done a lot of different kinds of themes with this specific collection. Now, as I was looking at the page, it seemed like the top was not quite done. I felt like the bottom, if you look at my pictures, there's a lot of dark going on in the bottom, and it wasn't transferring to the top. So I remember that I had this washi and I put that there, and it was just the right amount of dark color that worked well with the rest of the photos and also of the layout. Now here is the fun part where I get to do some designing. I will add a few stickers here and there, and then I think I am going to add some enamel dots because that the word right on the title, the I doesn't have the dots, so I'm going to use some enamel dots and then finish off the sprinkling of enamel dots here and there as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave that in the comment section below. So far, which one is your favorite out of all the layouts that I have created so far? I'm curious to know, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!